Okay, before I start with the topic today, we should recall the using of the notation delta. Basically, delta of f, as we have here, is nothing else means that this difference when we have the derivative, the numerator part, which is the f of x plus h minus the x of x. So we can rewrite the limit, the derivative as the limit when h is going to 0 of the delta f over h. Okay, now that we have this, we are going to see the product rule for the derivative. Let's assume for now that we know what are derivative of x and g of x. Okay, then we start working with the derivative. We put this in the limit form. We see this big numerator that we don't know exactly how it works, but using as a help for this, we have an example coming from this book. Okay, this is the author of the books, and I basically copied it from there, and that is what we have here. We know the products are areas. Okay, so we have here a product, maybe we have the areas here. So what is this? Let me put it. Let's say we have some big square. G of x plus h will be g of x, this part, and the delta g will be this h part that we have to zoom. Okay, so let's concentrate it in this part here. If we have this is the area of the whole rectangle. This part is the area, right? If we multiply this g of x plus h and f of x plus h, multiply it, basically this is the whole area of the rectangle, minus what? Minus the part that is in the middle, the f of x times g of x. Okay, so this is equal basically to the shadowed rectangles. So this rectangle and this rectangle and this little box here. Okay, if we can write that as, for example, this part, this rectangle until here is g of x multiplied by the delta f. The same thing for the other two rectangles. So we can write, this is the first rectangle, this is the second one, and this is the little box that we have here. If we put this in the limit form as we have it at the beginning, we will see that we have this multiplication, the delta f over h. Well, but this is very similar to what we have here, right? So this is the derivative of x. Same thing for g, right? The delta g over h, and the times f of x plus this little box that we have here, right? The delta f multiplied by delta g over h. So this the first part we know. Okay, this is the derivative of x multiplied times by g of x. Same thing for the second part, right? So we will have this. But what happened with this little box? Well, using some tricks of mathematics, we can multiply this by h over h. Basically is multiplication by 1, right? So we will have 1h for f, 1h for g, and 1 extra h. So we will have the derivative of x, derivative of g, and because this is the limit when h tends to be 0, this h will become 0 and the whole term will be 0. Therefore, we have that the derivative of the multiplications of the product rule will be the derivative of the first one multiplied by the second one plus the derivative of the first one plus the first function multiplied by the derivative of the second function. Okay.